Welcome. Today, it's a really fast-paced GRC update. We're hitting the biggest regulatory and compliance news from just this past week. Our goal here is simple. Give you those key insights, quick and clear. Make sure you're informed, ready for what's next. Let's just jump right in.
Absolutely. And what's really noticeable this week is just how broad the changes are. Affects everything from crypto to data privacy. Shows how GRC is all connected, really.
It really does. Okay, first up, let's start with a big one in finance, the Department of Labor.
Right, the DOL. They've officially rescinded that previous guidance, the one cautioning 401k plans about crypto investments.
Rescinded. So what does that mean in practice? Back to a neutral stance.
Exactly. They're calling it a principles-based fiduciary approach. But, it's definitely not a green light for crypto across the board.
So the responsibility shifts then.
Totally. It puts the onus squarely on the plan fiduciaries. They need to do the hard work, the due diligence, just like any other potential investment. Rigorous analysis is key.
Got it. Okay, sticking with digital assets for a moment, the president signed the Genius Act. That's about stablecoins, right?
Yeah, a big step for stablecoins. It mandates reserves, requires regular audits. The idea is, greater market stability.
So providing a clearer framework.
That's it. Building trust, potentially helping stablecoins integrate more into the traditional financial system.
And speaking of clarity, the House passed the Clarity Act. This one puts the CFTC in charge of crypto commodities.
Right. It designates the CFTC as the primary overseer for digital assets that fit the commodity definition. It's all about reducing that regulatory fog.
Clearing things up for innovation, but with oversight.
Precisely. A clearer path, hopefully.
Okay, let's shift within finance a bit. The OCC, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, they updated their fair lending booklet.
They did. And notably, they removed references to disparate impact liability.
Disparate impact. That's the idea that neutral policies can still have discriminatory effects, right?
Exactly. So removing that reference, well, it suggests a potential shift in how the OCC looks at fair lending during exams and enforcement, something to watch.
And tied to banking regs, there's a proposal to rescind the 2023 Community Reinvestment Act rule, the CRA rule.
Yeah, the banking agencies put that forward. The aim seems to be reverting back to the 1995 regulations.
Wow, back to 95. That could really change how banks approach community investment.
It certainly could. It affects how they meet the needs of low and moderate income communities. A lot of eyes are on this one.
Okay, moving over to enforcement. The DOJ, Department of Justice, has launched something new, a whistleblower program.
Yes, their first ever specifically for antitrust violations. That includes things like procurement fraud.
Interesting. So incentivizing people to report collusion.
That's the idea. Could uncover schemes that are usually hard to detect, might mean more antitrust cases down the line. It's a real potential game changer.
And also from the DOJ, that 90-day grace period for their data security program, it's expired.
Right. This involves restrictions on data transfers to certain countries of concern.
So full compliance needed now.
Yep. The grace period is over. Companies dealing with sensitive data really need to have their processes align with these rules or face penalties.
Okay, let's switch to health and consumer safety. Dr. Reddy's Laboratories got a Form 483 from the FDA.
Yes. After an inspection at their facility in Andhra Pradesh, 7 observations listed.
A 483 isn't good news, right? It flags potential issues.
Essentially, yes. It lists observations where practices might deviate from good manufacturing standards. They'll need to address those points quickly.
And still with the FDA, they're thinking about defining ultra-processed food, or UPF.
They're evaluating it. If they create a formal definition, well, that could be huge for food labeling, maybe even dietary guidelines down the road.
Could really change how we see food labels.
Absolutely. Influence marketing, sales, the works.
Okay, let's talk online betting now. India's government brought in some big taxes.
Big ones, yeah. A 30% tax on net winnings from online betting, plus a 28% GST on the gaming services themselves.
That's substantial. Changes the economics quite a bit.
Definitely. It's a major shift for operators and bettors in India. Part revenue, part tighter regulation.
And it sounds like the laws are getting tougher generally there.
They are. New laws like the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023 bring in much stricter penalties for any unauthorized gambling and tougher KYC know your customer rules too.
So clamping down on illegal stuff, pushing for more formalization.
That seems to be the direction. Better player protection through stricter ID checks as well.
Right. Now, cybersecurity threat, this new malware, Lame Hug, found in Ukraine.
Yes. And the really, let's say, alarming part is how it works. It uses an AI model
An AI to do what?
to generate its execution commands. It uses a large language model.
Wow. So it can adapt itself, make itself harder to catch.
That's the major concern. Makes it potentially much more evasive, more adaptive than traditional malware, a new kind of challenge for cyber defenses.
Okay. Switching to privacy. Colorado has a new biometric privacy law.
That's right, effective July 1st, 2025. Businesses will need written policies and have to get consent before collecting biometric data, like fingerprints, facial scans.
So Colorado joins states like Illinois and Texas with specific biometric rules.
Exactly. Companies collecting that kind of data from folks in Colorado need to get their consent processes ready.
And finally, one more on cyber, but for ships. The U.S. Coast Guard regs.
Yes, new mandatory cybersecurity rules for U.S. flagged vessels. They just became legal requirements July 16th, 2025.
So moving from guidelines to actual law.
Precisely. It's about hardening maritime infrastructure against cyber threats, ensuring safety and resilience for shipping.
Okay, well, that wraps up our rapid-fire GRC news for the week. It's clear the landscape just keeps shifting. Constant vigilance needed.
It really is. Staying informed, understanding these changes, that's honestly your most powerful edge in this environment. So the question for you is, what insights will you dive into next?